how we use social media. It's not just about the platforms themselves.
To the preservation of the national unity and democratic stability.
Water is life, water is an essential service, and we must have to carry out the residents.
Local communities are not only vital to the growth of society, but they also form the bedrock of humanitarian development.
Welcome to The Reporter, a news and current affairs program that goes beyond the headlines, bringing reporters from the field to give first-hand accounts and in-depth analysis of unfolding issues, correspondents' perspectives, ensuring balanced, credible, and comprehensive storytelling. Once again, welcome. I am Aniti Patrick. We'll start with the parliamentary area today. The Senate has moved to discuss in a closed-door session an alleged breach of Nigeria's territorial integrity linked to a December U.S. military strike on Nigerian soil. Raising concerns about constitutional procedure and national security oversight, Uyi Agumofegbe completes the story.
The issue was spotlighted on the floor of the Senate on Wednesday through a point of order by Senator Abdul Ningi, PDP Bauchi Central, who spoke under matters of privilege. Senator Ningi criticized what he described as the audacity of a United States airstrike reportedly carried out in Sokoto State on Christmas Day, arguing that Nigerian senators were not briefed on the operation despite its occurrence within the country's borders.
Continue to say that the National Assembly that is vested with these powers under Part 4 and will remain mum. Mr. President, this Assembly has a core responsibility in governance, and therefore, for every action intended, the leadership of the National Assembly must be taken along.
In response, Senate President Godswill Akpabio acknowledged the gravity of the concern, but stressed that matters of national security are not suitable for open debates in the chamber.
Because it's a matter of security, we really should not discuss it in the open. We should have a closed session so that you will be well briefed.
With the Senate set to deliberate behind closed doors, it is expected that the outcome of the session will determine the next line of action to safeguard Nigeria's sovereignty while reinforcing constitutional oversight on all security operations carried out within the country. Uyi Agumofegbe reporting for Global TV News.
And joining me live in the studio is Uyi Agumofegbe to bring us up to speed on what the Senate we're looking at today on that particular issue of the U.S. bombing in Nigeria in December. Hello, Uyi. It's good to have you join us on The Reporter.
Pleasure, as always, Anita.
Amazing conversation because we know this has been on since December, but given the Senate's concern, the lawmakers were not briefed before the alleged U.S. strike in Sokoto. What formal protocols currently exist for authorizing or overseeing foreign military operations on Nigerian soil?
Ideally, I mean, for a country like the U.S. that has enjoyed over time, fairly speaking at least, a robust relationship, whether it's in trade or diplomacy and even military and intel, you would have thought that due diligence had been done prior to those attacks that we saw, in Sokoto on Christmas Day. Conversely, that has not been the case, or that wasn't the case. You know, when it happened, just the morning after, there are Nigerians who had speculated that there's a pretty good chance the Nigerian authorities had not been informed prior to those strikes. But today, it will appear those speculations are now becoming a bit more factual. Because, I mean, when you listen to a man like Senator Abdul Ningi, a senator from Bauchi Central, the man says, look, we were not informed, even as a legislature in Nigeria. They were not informed. That is concerning. Yes, of course, as expected, issues like this border basically on national security, and they're extremely sensitive in their own nature. Therefore, the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, says these are not issues we should be discussing in an open space such as this, and as such, it has to be within a closed door, if you like, engagement. However, to answer your questions directly, there are laid down protocols that guide how countries engage in terms of, say you want to have strikes like this, especially given that the U.S. has said the idea ultimately is to assist Nigeria in fighting off extremism, terrorism, yes, that has taken tens of thousands of lives in this country, especially since 2009.
But a lot of questions will be asked around that. Beyond the closed-door session, how does the Senate intend to balance this national concern? Because, of course, there needs to be a balance. Don't forget, this is a diplomatic way of also dealing with issues like the U.S. is doing. It's also about finding security secrecy and also with its constitutional duty. All of those are concerns which Nigerians expect the Senate to look into. So beyond the closed door, how do you see the Senate finding a balance in all of this?
Okay, this is going to be a bit tough. I mean, just before this, the National Assembly went on break, the Christmas break, that is, the Deputy President of the Senate, Senator Jibril Barau, made efforts to say, let's push this issue, let's have this conversation. And the President of the Senate, in his own wisdom, understanding the basics of the rules of engagement, says, this is not how to engage. I don't even have the powers, the latitude or the prerogative to be engaging the U.S. President or the United States government. So what this means is, much as you and I are not clear as to the specifics of what these closed-door engagements will be, it is now incumbent upon the National Assembly, especially the Senate, to engage with the executive, which is the presidency, to say, look, we need to understand the circumstances, that's led to those strikes. What were the elements in the conversation? After the strike, how did we as a country engage? So on this level, the legislature has no business with the U.S. government. It should be dealing with the Tinubu administration in this regard, especially
from the executive point of view.
Exactly, that's the idea. So the Senate at this point, or the National Assembly as an entity, as an institution, should already, or at least on account of this meeting, the closed-door meeting as proposed, be talking with the National Security Advisor, for example, Minister of Defense, for example, be talking about, with the Army chiefs and all of those who handle critical intel entities for Nigeria.
All right. Thank you so much, Uyi. Always a pleasure having you on the report.
My delight always.
All right. Well, let's move away from that. The National Industrial Court of Nigeria has ordered workers under the Joint Union Action Committee, JUAC, to suspend their ongoing strike in the Federal Capital Territory. The ruling followed a suit filed by the FCT Minister Barrister Nyesom Wike and the FCT administration seeking to halt the industrial action. Kabir Hassan has the rest of the story.
The legal battle over FCT workers' strike moved to courtroom as the National Industrial Court sitting in Abuja considered an application brought by the FCT administration against leaders of the Joint Union Action Committee. The claimant asked the court to restrain the union from continuing the strike, picketing government facilities or disrupting activities within the Federal Capital Territory. Delivering the rule, Justice Emmanuel held that while the dispute qualifies as a trade dispute, the right to embark on industrial strike is not absolutely once the matter has been referred to the National Industrial Court.
We commend the court for making an order for the stopping of this strike, restraining the workers from going on strike or continue with the strike. I think this is commendable because it's going to give the parties opportunity to discuss, and then the order is given according to the law.
The judge ruled that workers are barred from embarking on or continuing a strike during the pendency of a case before the court, adding that any ongoing industrial action must cease immediately until the suit is determined. The court consequently granted an interlocutory injunction restraining the union from further strike action and adjourned the matter to March 23, 2026 for hearing of the substantive suit.
They have been doing their best trying to reach out to the minister, but the minister refused to see them. And they went on strike, which is the only instrument a worker, an employee can use to express his grievances. And my lord said, since the matter is in court, matter cannot be in court, and you control with the strike. Call off your strike, go back to work while we adjudicate on it.
A few hours after the court ruling, activities gradually resumed at the FCTA headquarters as the main gate was sighted open with visible movement of workers and vehicles with heavy security mounted. The development suggests compliance with the court order following a days of disruption caused by the industrial action. Stakeholders now await a lasting solution of the dispute as legal proceedings continue. Kabir Hassan reporting for Global TV News.
And joining me right now is Kabir Hassan to bring us up to speed on how that halt on the FCT workers' strike by the industrial courts and what it means. Hello, Kabir. It's good to have you join me on The Reporter.
Good to see you too.
Kabir, let's get up to speed with this. What does the National Industrial Courts order mean for the balance between workers' rights to strike and the need to maintain essential government services in the FCT?
The court said the union has the right to embark on a strike, but now that the case is in court, the union does have no right to go on a strike till the case is not in court again. So
all right, so Kabir, since he has mentioned the fact that this has to, the workers have to get back to their feet because, of course, there can't be a case in court and them also being on the streets. So as activities resume following the court order, what steps can both the FCT administration and the labor unions take to resolve the disputes through dialogue while the legal process continues?
Yeah, the case wasn't fully adjourned, so the case has been postponed to March 2026, March 23, 2026. So I think that's a gap for the FCT administration and the union to have an understanding between the two of them to know how they can resolve their issues and other. But after the judgment on Monday. Monday or Tuesday, the union, the FCTA gate, when I passed through the FCTA gate, I saw the gate open and workers were there. There were like movement around the gate, but with heavy security mounted, which I think the court order has started working and the staffs are now back from the strike.
Means there's now resume syndrome, as in staff have gone back to resume. That's what you're trying to say. Hopefully this pans out. Like you said, there's a span of time frame for both the workers and the administration to have a dialogue, even while the case is in court. And like you said, it's still in court, and they're looking for a way to find a balance, right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
All right, amazing. Thank you so much, Kabir. Please keep us up to speed as events unfold at the FCT. Well, away from that, Imo State Governor Hope Uzodinma has inaugurated a fact-finding and implementation committee to coordinate the rehabilitation of communities affected by insecurity in Okigwe axis. The committee covers Okigwe, Omunu, and Ehime Mbano local government areas. Our correspondent, Amarachi Ibe, completes the story.
Addressing members of the committee, the Imo State Governor Hope Uzodinma explains that with security now largely restored in the area, the priority of his administration is recovery, reconstruction, and the resettlement of displaced residents. He knows that the committee is to visit affected communities, assess the level of damage, verify claims, and recommend practical steps for a comprehensive government-led rehabilitation program.
Go in there, come up with a preliminary investigation, recommend how we must begin immediately to begin to review the schools in those areas, the hospitals in those areas, and public infrastructure.
The governor urges community leaders and residents to cooperate fully with the committee by providing accurate and timely information, and assures that his administration remains committed to protecting lives and properties across the state.
I charge you, the committee, to make the truth be your only compass. The people are waiting. As much as there are bad people in those areas, there are also good people. Identify the good people, some other victims who are not able to go back to their homes. and see how we can support them to go back to their homes.
Responding on behalf of the committee, the chairman of the committee, Samuel Uche Kanu, commended the governor for what he describes as a timely intervention and assures that the committee will carry out its assignment with fairness, transparency, and a strong sense of responsibility.
And I want to assure you that knowing the people you have appointed to work with me, we are going to work in tandem to deliver results. And we are going to give you unbiased results.
Stakeholders at the event expressed optimism that the initiative will accelerate the return of normal life and economic activities in the area. From Owerri, Amarachi Ibe reporting for Global TV News.
Hello, right now to join us is our correspondent Amarachi Ibe to bring us up to speed on what that committee will do. Hello Amarachi, it's good to have you join me on the reporter.
Good to be here.
So how prepared is this committee to assess the damage and ensure displaced residents are effectively resettled, because that's one of the tasks given to them by the governor?
Okay, looking at what the task the governor have given them, if you look at the caliber of people that the governor appointed for that position, he said he personally appointed them because he knows them. He's more of religious leaders and other notable individuals from the zone. So right now, after the inauguration, I've seen a memo from the committee telling people around that area to bring pictorial and video evidence of things that have happened in their place to the ones that they cannot lay hold of. Both those in diaspora and those that are still outside have not yet returned. So the committee so far have already started working. Yeah, because the memo is everywhere, and then people have started complying to what they are trying to find out, because the governor made it clear that he wants a lasting peace, and for that lasting peace, then those people that he has appointed, which is a believe as part of religious leaders, they will not be biased in any form, so they will give a credible work.
All right, amazing. So I like the fact that you talked about being credible and all that, but let's look at what steps are being taken to ensure transparency and accountability in the rehabilitation process. Because like you said, you've seen the MOU, but what's the transparency and accountability process in this rehabilitation that's been given to the committee?
Okay. They are asked to go to the communities themselves, not sending individuals. They should go to communities and find out, ask questions, make of anything that they can lay their hands on. Okay, that they should go into those villages, find things for themselves, ask questions themselves, and then get an answer. The preliminary findings that they have gotten. So that's what the state is going to use to start the rehabilitation. The governor said he gave them only 30 days to do so, and already they have said the work clear.
All right, Amarachi, thank you so much for being a part of the reporter. We hope that you keep tabs with this, because you're on ground. You'll see if this committee will follow up with the due diligence, of course, and also do the transparency work, just like you've mentioned, in the course of giving the benefits of the doubt as the governor has given them.
I will, sure.
All right, thank you, Amarachi. Let's quickly move our focus to Benue State. The Benue State Governor, Hyacinth Alia, has flagged off a major road infrastructure upgrade in Boko local government area involving the reconstruction and realization of township and feeder roads spanning 55 kilometers at a cost of over 62 billion naira, in line with his administration's urban renewal agenda. Our Benue State correspondent, Felicity Ndere, tells us more.
The flag-off ceremony took place at Lubuna Junction, where Governor Alia expressed optimism about the massive road infrastructure project, acknowledging the support of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
What we do here today is just the start of the works we have on our menu for our local governments.
Governor Alia said the Boko Road network will become the second largest in Benue State, adding that other major roads, including the 57-kilometer Awaji-Oju Road in the Benue South Senatorial District, are under construction.
We have brought in a lot of reforms. It is not about me. It is about the poor masses who want these reforms to be made. They needed a good direction, and thank God you have a good direction. And thank God we are ever willing to do that which you desire.
Director of Civil Engineering at the Ministry of Works, Engineer Tifa Wambo, says the project will dualize key roads in Boko Township to improve connectivity and trade.
These roads are going to have 200 mm stone base. They are going to have 5 cm wearing guts. They are going to have reinforced concrete drainage all through, and then they are going to have street lights on the roads.
Group Managing Director of Jamud Construction Limited assured that the project will be delivered on time and to standards.
And as soon as the groundbreaking is over today, we'll commence work in earnest. I want to assure you, Your Excellency, we will deliver quality projects that will stand the test of time.
The road works include the reconstruction and dualization of the Yando Roundabout, Lubuna Junction Corridor, Captain Downs Road, NKSC Anzwa Link Road, Bristol Roundabout to Toti Palace, and the JS Taka Road to Imka Roundabout. In Boko, Felicity Ndare reporting for Global Television News.
There you have it from Benue State, where the governor has also flagged off this particular road, 55 kilometers roads in Boko, and impacts local traders and also commuters will see as a benefit for them in the coming days. And this also flows in line with every other area to see how they can improve. But concerns are raised. What measures are in place to ensure that the 62 billion project is completed on time and meets the promised quality standards? All of those concerns are part of the questions the residents in Benue, especially in Boko community there, where it's being flagged off as are asking to see that this will not hamper on daily activities. All of that is what the concerns are raised about, because of course good infrastructure is also supposed to be in place, especially road networking to access farmers. Don't forget that Benue State is the food basket of the nation that has to convey things from the agricultural point of view, from the farmers and also to the market. So also Boko will have that advantage when that road is completed. If you look at it, it's a stretch road, and look at the architectural display there where the governor gave that on that. We look forward to that particular positive response when it comes to fusion, in line with the government's directive to the contractors to come through. Well, that's it from Benue State, and apparently that also brings us to the size of the program on The Reporter. Thank you for staying with us on The Reporter. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and Start Times channel 276. To stay connected, kindly follow us across all social media platforms showing on your screen using @Global TV NG. Until we come your way the next time, I am Aniti Patrick. Thank you for watching.
Social media. It's not just about the platforms themselves.
To the preservation of the national unity and democratic stability.
Water is life, water is an essential service, and we must have to carry out the residents.
amenities are not only vital to the growth of society, but they also form the bedrock of humanitarian development.